Hi there, this is Jennifer with Brome Fields, and today we're going to be doing a cable headband with a bobble in it. And I thought this was really fun pattern, so I really wanted to do something with this, and I wanted a quick project, so I thought a headband would be perfect. And I am using some Mila Mia, I believe it's silver gray color. I'll leave the link down below to the yarn. And I'm using a size 13 knitting needle, which is, so this is a little bit bulkier than the Lion Brand Thick and Quick. So this here, you grab a cup of coffee, glass of wine, whatever, because this is, this one was definitely a new one. I learned a lot in this. I'd say like 3 different stitches I hadn't done before. I've never done cables like this. So it's really easy. Once I got it, I understood it all. So once I learned it, it's really easy. This is a 12 row repeat, and I'm only going to show the front side because the back are really just knit the knits and purl the purls, and I'm sure you guys got that. If you're doing this, you know how to knit and purl. So if you don't know how to knit and purl, maybe you need to practice a little bit before you start this one. This one I would say is a little bit more advanced. So row 1. Now, whenever you first start the headband, there is a row 0, which is just I don't know, just to kind of get everything. So you're on the front side of the work, so the purl stitches aren't on your front. So let's go with row 1. I have an I-cord here on either side of this cable. So the first 2 stitches are the I-cord, and then I have 1 purl stitch before we start on the cable, and it'll grow. You guys will, well, it'll all come together. So this first row, row 1, with the yarn in the back, we're going to slip 1 purlwise, and then we're going to knit this second stitch, and then we're going to purl 1. And this is on the beginning of all of the even rows. So the first 3 stitches and last 3 stitches are the edge, and then these all are the middle stitches. Oh, so you'll want to cast on 15 stitches. All right, so the middle section, we're going to purl 2 stitches. And then this is my first new stitch I learned was a T5 BP. So we're going to slip 3 stitches onto a cable needle and hold it into the back of our work. So with this working needle in the front, we're going to slip 3 stitches to the back, and then we're going to knit 2 stitches off your left hand needle. And then I want to pull that a little bit so I don't lose those stitches. We're going to knit off of the cable needle here. We're going to purl the first one and knit the second 2. Purl that one and then knit 2. So that gives us this cross right here. All right, and then the next stitch we're going to purl 2 stitches, and then those last 3 we're going to purl the first one with the yarn in the back. We're going to slip 1 purlwise, bring that yarn forward and purl. And yes, it always looks wrong. When we flip it over, I'll show you this first couple stitches. With the yarn in the back, we're going to slip that first one, bring that yarn forward, and purl that first stitch. And it twists it right around and it tucks that purl under so you don't even see it. So then you want to just go ahead and follow in sequence, and I'll come back and show you row 3. All right, so now we're ready for row 3, and on this row we're going to learn I learned 2 new stitches. So with the yarn in the back, we're going to slip 1 purlwise and knit 1, and then we're going to purl 1, and then we're going to T3 back. So with this, our needle hold it forward, so we're going to slip this purl stitch onto our cable needle, and then we're going to knit 2 stitches. So we're knitting the knits and purling the purls still. We're just going to twist this around. So we're going to purl that stitch off of the cable needle. and then we're going to purl 1 stitch. And then we're going to T3 front. So with holding that needle in the back, we're going to slip these 2 stitches, hold them in the front, and then we're going to purl that stitch, and then pull that up so we don't lose those stitches. And we're going to knit, knit these 2 stitches off of the cable needle. So we are widening here. So we did the cross before, and now we're going to widen this a little bit more, so we're going to make room for that bobble. All right, now we're going to purl 2 stitches, and then with the yarn in the back, we'll slip 1 purlwise, bring that yarn forward and purl. All right, then I will come back with row 5. All right, so we're ready for row 5, and on this row, we're going to widen this an extra 2 stitches. So we're going to be doing the same thing we did on row 3. So with the yarn in the back, we're going to slip 1 purlwise and then knit 1 and purl 2. Nope, we're purling 1. So we're going to T3 back. So we're going to slip that first purl stitch into the back, and then we're going to knit the next 2 stitches, and then purl this one off the cable needle. Oops. So we're just making this wider, and then we're going to purl 3 stitches, so then we'll have 5 stitches here between the cables. So then we're going to slip, so hold that in the back, we're going to slip the next 2 stitches and hold them in the front, and we're going to purl that stitch and pull that through. Then we're going to knit these 2 stitches off the cable needle. So we took that purl stitch, oops, I did not get all the way inside that stitch. So we took the purl stitch that was on the left side of this cable and put it on the right side, making it wider. So we're going to purl, and then with the yarn in the back, slip 1 purlwise, yarn in front, and purl. Go ahead and knit row 6, and then I'll be back for row 7. All right, so now we're ready for row 7. And on this row, we are going to make the bobble. Our cable is at its widest point. So we're going to slip 1 purlwise, knit 1, purl 1, going to knit 2, purl 2, and then we're going to make our bobble on this 1 stitch. So we're going to knit into the front, and then into the back, and then into the front again. So that's what it should look like. So we turned it into 3 stitches, knit front, back, and front. And then we're going to turn, and we're going to knit these 3 stitches because we want the purls on the front side of the work. So we're going to knit 3 bobble stitches, and then we're going to flip it back around, and we're going to purl into those 3 stitches, and we'll flip it back around, and then so we're on the back side of the work, we're going to knit into those 3 stitches. So then we flip back to the front side. We're going to slip and then knit 2 together and then pass the slip stitch over. So we're going to slip the first stitch, and we're going to knit those 2 stitches together, and then we're going to pass the slipped stitch over and kind of pop it forward. And I can't say that I have two that really look the same. So I need to practice more on my bobbles. So you might want to practice more on bobbles before you go get started. So, but we're already started. So we're going to keep going. We're going to purl 2, knit 2. That's the cable. We're going to purl 1 with the yarn in back, slip 1 purlwise, bring yarn forward, and purl that last stitch. So that's our bobble. And so go ahead and knit row 8, and then I'll come back for row 9. Alrighty, so now we're ready for row 9. So our cables are at their widest point, so now we're going to start bringing them back together. So we're going to use the same T3 front and back, but we're going to swap them so we can bring those cables back together, and we're going to move the purl stitch to the other side, to the outside edges. So we're going to slip 1 purlwise, knit 1, purl 1, and then T3 front. So we're going to slip these 2 stitches, hold them in the front, purl the purl stitch, pull that through so I don't lose those, knit these 2 knit stitches off the cable needle, and then we're going to purl 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to, with the yarn in the back, we're going to, no, we're holding the yarn in the front. We're putting the stitch in the back. Then we're going to knit 2 off the working needle, that cable. And then we don't want to lose those. We're going to purl this 1 off the cable needle. And then we're going to purl that stitch with the yarn in back, slip 1 purlwise, and purl. I-cord you should be getting pretty familiar with now. So we will be back for row 11. Alrighty, so we're ready for row 11. This is our last row for the video, because row 12 will just be knits and purls and bringing it together. So with the yarn in the back, we're going to slip 1 purlwise and knit 1. So we're almost there. Purl 1, purl 2, and then we're going to T3 front. So we're going to hold those to the back. We're going to slip these off into the front, purl 1, and then we're going to knit the 2 stitches. So we moved that 1 purl stitch from the left over to the right, because we're narrowing this cable back to the center. And then we're going to purl 1, and then we're going to move this purl stitch over to this side. So with this working needle in the front, we're going to slip the purl into the back, and then we're going to knit 2 stitches, the 2 cable stitches, and pull that forward a little bit, and purl 1 off the cable. And then purl 2 stitches, slip 1, and purl 1. Then you're ready to knit row 12, and then you'll start with row 1, and you'll have this cross where we started, and it'll bring it all together. So I just love that. I think that is really cute. I can't wait to try it on. I haven't even tried this thing on yet. So I hope you guys liked that, and I can't wait to use this on some other things, because that was really easy. I'm thinking a blanket would look really pretty with this stitch, maybe around the border. Oh, okay. So I hope you guys liked this, and I will see you guys again next time. Thank you so much for watching.